Välkommen to Minfuel. This is day 7 of Archaon Month, and last time I was talking about how I needed to start on the base. Well, here it is. So this is the start of Archaon's base. We're going to take a little better look at it, and I'll show you how I made it. Welcome to messy ground zero here. Making base is obviously a bit messy. So this is the base itself, and I've made it partially out of cork, out of PVA, and out of astrogranite. So the way I did this was that I took cork sheets like this, which you can buy probably in any hobby store. I know I can here in Norway at least. I like this thickness. As you can see, it's not very thick, because on most models it just looks like it goes up to their ankles, so it looks like they're standing on rocks, rather than if you have really thick cork it looks like they're standing on boulders, and to me that doesn't make a lot of sense. So what I did here was I cut out the triangles for each of the spikes. Then I cut out little pieces like this, long strips of this, which I cut down into smaller and placed all the way around. Glued it all down with trusty PVA glue. You don't need to use Citadel PVA glue, obviously, but I do just because it's easy to get. And then the trick to making this actually look sort of like rock, you want the cork because that gives you this rugged edge here. But obviously, as you can see here, it's quite flat on the top, and that looks kind of boring, and it looks a bit weird when you paint it. So the trick for that is these two, which is then astrogranite and astrogranite debris, which quite literally means space rocks. And the way you do that is that you just... I started with astrogranite debris because that's the thicker one. It's a bit chunkier. Then I take out the texture spread tool, probably one of the most useful tools. As you can see, it's just covered in the astrogranite. Just take it out, and then every little hole in between the cardboard or the cork pieces here, I'd cover it with astrogranite, and that way it would look a lot more natural. It would look rocky. But I left over some pieces which I used the regular astrogranite on to get variation in the rock. And that's also key. If you mix the two, you'll get that sort of natural variation in the stones themselves. And that means that even though this is just cork and some basing material, it's very, very easy to do, and it looks really cool. Now obviously I've got more stuff planned for this, but I just wanted to show you guys a couple of things. One is, why did I choose this star pattern? Obviously, if anyone familiar with Chaos knows that the 8-pointed star is a classic Chaos symbol. It is the symbol of Chaos usually. So because this is what Archaon's going to be, it's going to be his base, I wanted a universal Chaos symbol. And for those of you who don't know, Archaon himself actually has his own symbol, which is on the back of the Ever-Chosen Tome here. It's this. So you have the star for each of the Chaos Gods, and then you have these little Archaon chevrons, which symbolizes, which means that it's him. So he actually has his own symbol as well. But I really just like this idea because I'm going to have lava in all this, around this, so that when you put Dorgar here in the middle, he's in the middle of this chaos star, and it's going to be a really, really cool effect. Obviously, it's not quite done yet. But that's it for today. I just wanted to show one more little thing here. This is the old Archaon model. He looks pretty tiny on that base. So, this is going to be This is going to be a really big project. And as you guys can see here, he's got the lava base. It's going to be the same sort of lava, so that I have that continuation really through all of the Archaons that I've painted. I'm even going to add each of these like little spikes that aren't so easy to see onto the base eventually. So that's it for today's little episode. Come back tomorrow to see how we're going to attach this guy to this in some way that's actually going to hold up the entire thing. So until then, ha det bra!